So we got into a lot of great details on the grip fighting and the finishing of the rear naked choke, but a lot of that stuff isn't actually even necessary from the strong side due to how strong that position is and the fact that we've hidden the killing hand. So, and it's also difficult because of the weight that we have put into our arm. So, turn a little more off to the side here. If I'm on the strong side, it can be very difficult for me to actually be getting involved in all this hand fighting that we had talked about and the digging of the chin, because I have this frame on my elbow being a load-bearing frame. So here. So what we're looking at doing here is, because we've hit the killing hand, Kevin's never actually able to get meaningful grips on it. And so what we're going to look to do from here is get this motorcycle grip, and we're gripping upwards of the pinky meat, like the little drumstick here if we can. Don't grab the actual pinky itself because you'll be called out on it by a ref, or no small joint manipulation in jiu-jitsu. Or if you can't, then we're looking to just grip up at the wrist. The further up the lever, the better. Here we're actually going to be able to compromise the structure of our opponent's arm, so it's going to be even better. What I'm looking to do here is at least take one arm out of the equation, because this is the main arm that's going to be used to block, where he can take this hand and block and protect that jawline. This hand is not the strong arm for defending. What I'm going to look to do is just get that arm out of the way enough so I'm going to be able to now mobilize my shoulders and punch my arm all the way through. What I'm looking to do is punch my armpit up over top of his shoulder like this, so that this arm goes far past what his arm can control, and I'm looking to close this over top here. Depending on how tight your opponent's chin is, we might end up just going over top of the jaw, which is fine. We can still choke them from here, but a lot of times you're going to be able to actually still dig underneath the neck, because I'm not just going to be punching outwards, but I'm going to be punching a bit down and into the jaw itself here to dig in. So even if he's got a bit of a grip here on my hand, it doesn't matter, because what I'm looking to do is punch out like this, so he slides down away from the end of the lever. His arm gets further away from his body. Mine does too, except mine has this momentum generated behind it with my upper body, as well as I'm the one that's initiating this call. So as we're here, I'm punching out and continuing knowing that I'm going to punch out and circle around like this. From here, I'm right in position. Because I shot my armpit over top of his shoulder, my elbow is going to just naturally fall here. If you are slightly off, for drilling purposes, fix it. But obviously, we're going to be able to do the choke, a rear naked choke, with even like the worst grip, because it's such a strong submission. From here, I'm looking to now take this arm and pull it out. He's going to be looking to close this arm to make it difficult for me to take this out. So I'm going to take my top leg, I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to use my knee to access his elbow as a lever to flare the elbow up a little bit to pull this out. So you can see his elbow is nice and close to the body. As my knee pushes it open, I'm trying to just open it gently, just a little bit like this. I don't need a lot of space. I just need to be able to lift it enough, pull this out, and then the same thing applies where I'm going to detach for a moment so that I can slide this in, hide the chin. Now I'm closing my elbows, crunching. I'm going to do a slight pull down with my hips to finish that choke. So here, we're in the attack configuration, hiding the killing hand up on the elbow. He's trying to get a grip, can't really get anything meaningful here. I'm going to look to, I can either beat this hand immediately, or if he's really not able to get at my killing hand, I'm going to be able to just punch past everything. And as I did that, as I completed this motion, this hand has nothing else to do, so as I'm firing it, this hand starts to grab and take it out of the equation. The fewer hands I have to deal with, the better. Here, I've grabbed right to the back of the scapula, rear delt. Here, head nice and tight, trying to hide the end of the lever. Knee opens up the elbow, right into the rear naked choke. Slow, methodical squeeze. So, a lot less work that we have to do from the strong side due to just how strong that position is and how it positions us to attack. But you can still look at doing some of the grip fighting. You can even look to use some of the arrowhead stuff. And like I kind of talked about there, you can still choke over the jaw. And so, depending on what level of a belt you are and what your instructor says about it, it can be seen as kind of a dick move if you are choking over top of the jaw. But we're still looking to do it the exact same way, in the sense that we're bringing the crook of our elbow over top of our opponent's chin and applying it. So there is something to be said about being a dick, in the sense that you bring your forearm over top of the teeth and you crush. I get that. But if Kevin's keeping his chin tucked and he thinks that having the chin tucked is enough, and I'm able to just go like this, what I'm just going to be looking to do is the exact same thing, closing everything, and it should still be a relatively gentle application of the choke, because what's going to happen is it's going to start pushing his lower jaw back, and his lower jaw is actually going to start becoming the part that is going to be occluding the arteries, where it's going to push back and start to block the left and the right side. So play with that with your partner. Exact same choke mechanics, everything together, breathing nice and slowly, and applying this. Think about putting that pressure on the jaw here. The further we go up the face, obviously, then we're going to be just cranking into the teeth, and we're not going to be actually applying a choke, and that's where I think you want to be careful about how you're applying that with your training partners. But having the chin in is not a defense, and just keep going ahead with the choke.